Oh, look at that. Look at it. It's beautiful out here today. It's a very crisp 80 something degrees. Decent humidity. So you know what time it is? Time to fire up the smoker. Okay, so here we are. I am doing a pork shoulder butt roast. Everybody remember Pinky? Pinky always makes an appearance. I'm going to be using that Hawaiian rub I made a couple of weeks ago, because I still, as you can see, got a lot of it. Throwing a little cherry rub on it, a little bit of applewood because it's pork and I like to use applewood, and a little maple bacon. Yummy. Also got some pineapple orange juice injection, as well as some peach nectar here and here, and of course the injection for me. Yes, that is an Americano with like 16 shots in it, so I'm going to be bouncing off the walls. Yay! So let's go ahead and open this bad boy up real quick. Now this is a Swift product, as the name. Swift makes usually a pretty good pig. Decent mowing muscle, not exactly competition worthy. Nice looking piece of pork here. The reason they call it a butt roast is right here. Right here, there's usually a second part of it called a picnic to make the whole shoulder. Well, pre-Civil War days, they wanted this part and not this part. This is so all the pig farmers down in the Carolinas would send this part up north to the Boston Meat Company. They called this the butt end of the shoulder. So on the big wooden barrels they had branded on there, Boston/butt roasts. That's the name. If you don't believe me, confer with Alton Brown. He's the one who confirmed all that. So we're going to take as much of this as we can, and we're going to inject as much of it into here as we can. Now, why would you inject a butt roast that's a heavily fatty item and already has a lot of natural flavor? Pretty simple. You're adding to it. This thing's a low and slow cook, and you can cook a lot of juice out of it real quick, especially if you accidentally cook too high. Plus, I'm trying to add a little bit of sweetness to it, a little bit of tart, and pineapple orange will add a little kind of a citrusy flavor on the inside. It'll actually taste pretty good. Besides, I like watching it kind of basically swell up when you put a bunch of liquid in it. Now, one of these days, when we're past COVID-19 and like can actually go shopping and stuff, I'm gonna go buy a better injector than the one you get at your local grocery store. Because the ones at the local grocery store are serviceable, but they're not that good. They'll work in a pinch. I'm airing it out right now. Okay, now let's add some peach in it. The peach flavor is going to balance the pineapple and the orange citrus. Also, since, you know, the Carolina region, which includes both North and South Carolina, Georgia, and a little bit of Alabama, they're pretty much the originators of barbecue. And they use peach on everything. Get that bowl ready. And one thing you'll notice, you know how you know this is a good butt? It's accepting all the injection. I put a lot of fluid into this thing and it's staying there. It's not going anywhere. It's not squirting out. It's not coming out. It's staying in it. That means the fibers on the inside are actually reasonably strong and not so permeable, which is good because that'll allow me to add a lot of flavor to it. This thing is going to be a juice bomb. Look at that. Beauty. Okay, so kind of looking around here. I do see something I want to trim off. Let you guys watch me there. Like this right here, I do want to take that off. Kind of glaze that down a little bit. Kind of clean this a little bit. Kind of open up that money muscle just a little bit. Let it have a chance to accept a little bit more smoke on it. Now when I do this thing, I will be doing it fat side down. It is in fact a misnomer that if you cook it fat side up, which means the fat cap is on this side, fat's gonna melt through the muscle. It's a joke, it's a myth, and not true. Notice how none of my injection is coming out of the meat either. Not worried about it because it accepted it in. If it wasn't going to accept it in, it would all came rushing right back out. I'm just cutting off what I call loose fat. I don't really know the actual term of it. It's just kind of hanging there, not really necessary for anything. So I'm just making it go away. Okay, look at that. Looks like we just started, except it's got 18 ounces of fluids in it. So let's butter this bad boy up, shall we? A little bit of mustard on the top there. Again, mustard is, was, and will always be just a basic binder. You don't need very much. Take this wine rub that we made a couple weeks ago. That, by the way, was really good. Just in case anyone wants to know. It was a hit. Those ribs did not last very long at all. And we're gonna hit it with a little cherry on the top. Pat it in a little. Now I use an applewood rub because I use apple wood. Just kind of adds to the flavor a little bit. And because I like my maple bacon. And this stuff is magic dust. Ask Cheech and Chong about the magic dust, they'll tell you. Let's butter up our other side. Now throughout the day, on or about every hour, I'll probably be spritzing this with a concoction of root beer and apple cider vinegar. Look at that, that thing's starting to look, you can already see how it's starting to settle in color. Oop, wrong one. Now, like I did with the ribs earlier, last time around, I seasoned a little heavier on the non-bone side. Just like with the ribs, I'm gonna season a little heavier on the non-fat side. Now, one thing about pork is you don't have to let it sit out for very long before it starts accepting the flavors. As it warms up, the pores inside start to open up a little more. Now, you don't really have to pat it. There's different schools that say patting it does nothing, some of it. Me, I just think it looks cool. All right, there's our butt roast. We're gonna throw her on the fire here in a minute.